He recognizes that money that's paid to workers does fuel the economy. But what she would actually be doing by raising the minimum wage to $15, and many in her party are saying $20 or $25 an hour, is kill jobs once again.
Okay, yes, I'm okay with those jobs dying. If you run a business that can't get by unless you pay your workers a slave wage, your business shouldn't be around.
Yep.
Your business is a failure.
Yeah.
Like, anyone can run a business if they don't have to pay their workers. Anyone.
Yep.
That's not the way the United States should work. We shouldn't want those businesses. They're bad businesses. Why do Republicans always like fight for these businesses that just fucking suck?
Yeah.
Like,
because they're owned by billionaires that just give them money.
Yep. Amazon shouldn't be able to run if they're paying their workers a wage that they have to have government assistance in order to get by.
Yeah.
You know, McDonald's shouldn't be able to run if they're essentially have like wage slaves.
Yeah.
How is that reasonable to anyone?
Don't know.
We're dealing with people, Senator Hashmi, with all due respect, who have no clue about how a business works and no understanding of economics. This sounds like a very good idea if you're economically illiterate.
Like, fuck this guy for saying that. You know, I'm not economically illiterate. There are plenty of places in the world that guarantee that their workers have a minimum wage and they're just have a livable wage and they're doing just fine. Like, fuck this guy for saying, no, those places don't exist. They're not real. They're fake. What you heard about all those other countries where people can get by for working 40 hours a week, those are fake places. Fuck you,
So I want to point out that we're both business owners.
Yeah.
On here. Like, we know a little bit about economics.
And I would never hire a worker that would have to, like, the wage that I pay them would require them to go and get government assistance just to afford food.
Yeah.
If I did do that, I would consider myself a failed businessman.
Yeah.
So, like, this guy arguing that we need more of those businesses. We need businesses that refuse to pay their workers a living wage. Fuck this guy.
Right.
Fuck you. That's not how America should work.
Yep.
That is not a country that I would want to live in.
Yeah.
And it's not a country that anyone should want to live in. Even a fucking billionaire shouldn't want to live in that country. Because you know what? If you're a billionaire and you pay your workers a non-livable wage, you're a shitty business owner.
Yep.
Raising the minimum wage would cost low-income workers their positions. The young man who pops the popcorn at the movie theater would lose that job. The popcorn would then be imported to the movie theater. There would
What the fuck is he talking about? No, it wouldn't. It would just cost a little more. And you know what? People could afford it because they have jobs that give them a livable wage. That's what actually happens when you raise the minimum wage.
Yeah.
Like, everything this guy is fear-mongering about what happens when you raise the minimum wage is just fucking untrue. It's always been untrue. Every place that has raised the minimum wage to a livable wage proves that it's untrue.
Yep.
Be no position for this individual. So this is another really foolish idea that has the potential to crush those who are just beginning in the workforce or trying to move their way up the ladder and try to work to a better wage. And I'm so distressed that Senator
So we just giving them a better wage is not good because they want to work to get a better wage.
Right.
What?
Yeah, we want to make sure that if you're a high school student who's just starting out in the workforce, we want to make sure that you make as little as possible. That's the Republican dream.
So you could work for more wages to get a higher wage.
Yeah, make sure that when you make $1 for your boss, you only get a penny of that.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that the wealth that you produce goes only to the top, not to you.
Right. And that you can't live off any of that money that you make.
Yep.
Not nearly enough.
That have been tried in other places that have cost thousands
Remember, this guy's slogan, come to Virginia, eat breadcrumbs, get sick, die.
Die. That's right.
Thousands of people, their jobs, including in California, where one of the basic
Not true.
jobs, no offense to anyone who works in fast food, now all of those positions in California have been replaced by computer terminals.
No, they haven't. What the fuck is he talking about? They haven't been replaced by computer terminals. They were computer terminals already before the law passed. Like, I live in California. I know when those terminals started. And second, there's still people at the front.
Yep.
Those terminals are optional. You can still go to the front. There's a register in every fast food place. You can still go to the front and order. And most people go through the drive-thru, and there's no terminals at the drive-thru. You're talking to a real person. Taco Bell tried to put AI in the drive-thru, and it failed spectacularly because you actually need a person for that job. AI can't do that job.
Right.
And I'm sorry that this guy thinks that, you know, if you are forced to pay someone a livable wage, you're just going to replace them with a computer. When in reality, billionaires want to replace people with computers anyway. Computers just can't do the job of humans.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they can. Like, people like me are fine going through that terminal, but like a lot of people aren't. A lot of people struggle with those terminals. And you know what I've seen being someone living in California? Those terminals make customers mad.
Yeah.
Every time I've been in one of those fast food places where there were multiple people at the terminals, everyone using them was mad.
Yeah.
I get mad at them because they're fucking annoying. So I go to the front and talk to a person.
Yeah. I haven't been. I don't go to fast food places very often. I do occasionally, and I don't think I've been to one that's had one of those terminals. Maybe ever. I don't know. Just because I don't go very often. I go so rarely.
Yeah. There's a Subway down by Petco Park, and they put up terminals. They have like 4 terminals at the beginning, and then the people making the sandwich are still there.
Yeah.
They're not robots making the sandwich. Now you just have to order the sandwich from the terminal instead of talking to the fucking person making your sandwich. It doesn't save anyone any time. You know, you still, the worker still has to make your sandwich. Now they just have to read a receipt instead of talking to you. And now you have to poke around on a screen for 5 minutes before they can start making your sandwich. It just wastes everyone's time. Everyone at the front is fucking mad about it. And I see people walk in, look at the terminals, see that there's a person at every single terminal, and leave. So I can't imagine that Subway is doing more business now that they've replaced talking to people with terminals. That's the thing. They haven't replaced the people with the terminals. The people are still there. They've replaced talking to people with the terminals.
Yeah, and that's really what people want is, you know, replace talking to people, to other people, and being forced to interact with computers.
Yep.
Which often have a really bad interface.
Yeah, but I guarantee you, if Subway could replace the actual people with a sandwich robot, they would, regardless of how much they have to pay the person. They would still replace them with a robot. The thing is,
well, you know, any day now, they're all going to be Tesla Optimus robots.
And then I would never eat there. Or I'd just go up to it and be like, I'd like 1,000 tomatoes on my sandwich. And just watch the robot keep on piling more and more tomatoes on. And then as soon as it's done, I'd be like, you know what, never mind. And I'd leave.
Never mind.